Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my booktube channel. It's Nicholas Gray, and I am here to talk about some signed stuff I got. Books. I got some signed books. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 7 signed books to talk about. Now, I've gotten these a long time ago, and one I got just yesterday. So I would say the Ronald Kelly books I bought I don't even want to guess how long ago, but I'm going to guess 3 months ago, maybe even longer than that. It's been a while. Oh, by the way, I got Ronald Kelly books. Sorry to, ruin the surprise. But, yeah, they're mostly horror books here. There is one book that's not horror, but we'll get into it when I get into it. Yeah, sit back and enjoy this book mail. It's all signed books from awesome authors. So, yeah. So first book we have here is Horsefly by Aaron Beauregard. I'm actually wearing an Aaron Beauregard book shirt today. This is the Playground shirt. It's really cool. I didn't correlate that or anything. I just happened to be wearing his shirt. Anyways, I also have this on audio, so I'm going to read this listen to this at at work. And I'm really looking excited for it. I got a bookmark and a pin and a magnet with it. And if you haven't noticed, it's hardcover. Let me read the back. There's no back because it's just a fly on the back. Really cool stuff. I wrote a book, and it's like a little novelette chapbook type thing. And it has a fly on the cover as well, and I did a lot of fly stuff with it, So I'm really cool. It's really cool to see Aaron Beauregard did a horsefly thing. Let me read this description for you. Zach and Leanne have agreed to an unorthodox adventure. They plan on meeting with some open-minded friends in an isolated forest and testing the foundation of their relationships. But, unbeknownst to them, the romantic bond isn't the only thing that will be challenged. A monstrosity lurking in the woods will test their courage, resilience, and will to survive. Fueled by steroids, infected with a lab-conjured disease, and hampered by bizarre side effects, the horsefly roams. A fiery internal rage and insatiable lust for blood control her every move. But while the horsefly tries to work through her bodily changes, she is haunted by existential questions. Why was she chosen to usher forth the evolution of her species? And why does her addictive urge to slaughter and feast push her far beyond the spectrum of her appetite? Horsefly is an immersive entertainment experience. It contains over 11 minutes of complimentary animated video and 15 interior illustrations. The videos are designed to give the reader a window into some of the book's nastiest scenes. What does it mean by video? Oh, and on the back here it says, "Careful, she bites." I don't know what it means by videos, because obviously you can't put a video in a book. So I'm wondering if there's going to be links or something, and you type the link and then it displays a video. Maybe, I don't really know. But anyways, that's Horsefly by Aaron Beauregard. I'll put it right up here. Next we have Aidan E. Messer's Book 1, Earth of the, I'm gonna really butcher this, so I'm so sorry, the Philsanian Chronicles. Now, this is not horror. I understand it's not horror, but this is special to me because I formatted it, and it's one of my first formatted books I've ever done other than my own stuff. So that's really cool. I got a book plate for this one. It says, "Nick, thank you for everything." And yeah. I also got some stickers. Love the stickers. Got a bookmark here. More stickers. Love the stickers. And yeah, very special book to me because I formatted it. And I was paid to do it too. That is really dope. It was very cool for them to let me format it. So thank you very much, Aiden. And also, I forgot to mention, but the signature. This is signed, by the way. This is all signed. Aaron Beauregard's signature says, "Stay fly." So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Gotta admit, that's pretty cool. All right, next we have Head Blown. It's Texas AuthorCon's Extreme Horror Stories, and I used to live in Texas. I know this is random, but I used to live in Plano, Texas. It's kind of near Dallas, and not really kind of, but Plano, Texas. If you're from Texas, you probably know what Plano is, and yeah, I got this one from Chase Will, I believe. Yeah, and he signed it. Nicholas, enjoy the anthology. These stories are bloody and fun. And this is an anthology. And it's edited by Merrill David. It's got a lot of contributors from Heather Miller all the way to Merrill David. A foreword by Patrick C. Harrison III. Let me just go through the names real quick. Heather Miller, Megan Stockton, Mike Enenbach, D.W. Hitz, Matt Michelli, Chris Miller, Jay Boyer, C. Derek Miller, Bruce Cutman, Eric Butler, Ruthann, Jag, Jason Nicky, Ben Chadwick, Chase Will, B.L. Blankenship, Kayla Krantz, and Merrill David. And let me get to the signature here. I have another signature here, I think. Yeah, here it is. I got another signature right here where his story is going to be. I wonder if he signed it where the story begins. Oh, it doesn't have what page it's on. Dang it. It just says what. Anyways, I'm not going to look for it. But, yeah, this is supposed to be an Extreme Horror Stories. I'm really looking forward to reading this one day when I get back to the extreme horror, the mood, if the mood comes, then I will read this. It looks very interesting, and I still needed to read Chase Will. He's a good friend of mine. I met him at one of the conventions, and he sat up and he saw me alone eating breakfast, and he joined me, and it was a lot of fun. He saw me, I was alone, and he kept me, happy. I was really having a hard time too when he showed up, so it was really cool. He's a really good guy. So, all right, next, from here on out, the next 4 books are Ronald Kelly. I ordered these so long ago, and I've been meaning to put them on my Ronald Kelly bookshelf for the longest time, but I had them in a pile here, sitting here, waiting for me to do this video. And this video is exactly what I'm doing right now, so I can finally put it back, or put it on the shelf it never went to begin with, and it could be with the other Ronald Kelly books. And I have no idea how I'm going to stuff these in there, because right now there is no room on my Ronald Kelly shelf. He writes too many stories, and I have too many versions of each book, so But anyways, Restless Shadows. Now this is the sequel to Hindsight, which is don't quote me if I'm wrong. Quote me if I'm right and give me 100% credit. But if I'm wrong, just forget about it. I believe the first one by Ronald Kelly, Hindsight, was based on his grandmother. And his grandmother was psychic, which I do believe in, actually. You think all these things, like, I used to be atheist, now I'm agnostic. I don't really believe in a lot of things, but I have had some moments where, I don't know if I believe in psychics being able to tell your fortune and stuff, like just pull it out of nowhere, but I believe in psychic events. I believe you can, because of the way it's really complicated. But anyways, I do believe in psychics in certain realms. Like, not all psychics are real, but, like, there are a good few, that are. And I don't know why I'm going on a diatribe about psychics, but this book is the sequel about when his grandmother ages. And I guess, I'll read the back for you guys. He's back. That was the first thought that crossed Cindy Garrison's mind when she heard of the brutal triple murder in her hometown of Coleman. The awful crime was nearly identical to the one performed during her hard-scrabble childhood at the time of the Great Depression. And strangely enough, it had taken place in the very same place. The ruins of the old tobacco barn near the edge of Green Creek. But this was not 1936. Cindy was no longer an innocent 9-year-old child, but an elderly woman who used her gift of second sight to assist the police every now and then. And Bully Hanson, who had been responsible for that mass killing so long ago, had been dead and in the grave for 77 long years. Still, she could not shake the overpowering feeling that he was involved in the massacre of 3 people, and that the 13-year-old boy suspected of committing the murders was completely innocent. The only way she could be certain that her suspicions were more due to intuition than senility was to return to Bedloe County and, with the help of her granddaughter, Beth, revisit the most devastating period of her life, and hope that, somehow, someway, the most evil man she had ever known had not slipped the bonds of death and came back to wreak havoc once again. That is Ron Kelly's Restless Shadows. And I could not read for the life of me, so I'm so sorry. If you were able to roll with that, that's awesome. All right. Oh, this has even a longer synopsis. I love Ron Kelly, but he has the longest synopses. Anyways, this is Ron Kelly's Burnt Magnolia. Let me say it right. Again, these are... I forgot to... I gotta show this. I gotta show the signature page. First of all, he gave me this. Always love those. He always does some very dope drawings. To Nick, sometimes true evil never dies. Ain't that the truth? And then Burnt Magnolia. It also has a signature drawing. Oh, that's spooky. To Nick, beware the ghosts of Burnt Magnolia. I just love Ron Kelly. Anyways, let me read the back. As a young girl, Laura Locke ignored the warnings of local superstition and played among the burnt-out ruins of Magnolia, a Tennessee plantation that had been forcibly occupied by the Union Army and then laid to waste during the bloody Battle of Franklin in 1864. She had always thought the ghost stories and tall tales were to be untrue, until the night when she witnessed it for herself. High among the blackened columns of the old mansion, upon a balcony with no floor, stood the forlorn specter of Jessica Heller. Rather than fright or horror, Laura had felt empty for the lost soul, along with the strange kinship. She told herself, then and there, that she would someday own the old house and discover the truth concerning the violent scourge of Magnolia, and what had truly become of its lonesome mistress, who had mysteriously vanished without a trace. Years later, as a best-selling author of steamy romance novels, Laura's dream of owning the deserted plantation became a reality. After much construction and remodeling, the old mansion was every bit as majestic as it had been during the prosperous oh my God, years of the Old South before the devastation of the Civil War. She thought life for her and her husband, Rick, would be peaceful and idyllic. But then strange and disturbing occurrences began to take place. A weeping woman in the garden, a haggard man digging feverishly by the light in the cold oil lantern, the horrifying shadow of a man hanging from the limb of the ancient oak tree, and worst of all, the malevolent and destructive poltergeist that seemed particularly resentful of her husband's presence. When the world-renowned ghost hunter, a man in search of his ancestral heritage, and 2 local historians arrived to Magnolia, Laura hopes that the terror that stalks Magnolia will finally be put to rest. Instead, things begin to spiral out of control, leading toward a violent and bloody confrontation that somehow mirrors the deadly events that took place there over a century before. Now, I don't even know if this was a book prior or if this is a book now. I don't know if this is supposed to be the possession, because it kind of sounds like the possession. It sounds like a possession type thing, but I don't really know if this is supposed to be like a reformatted book, or if this was actually like an original story, you know. I would love to learn more about this book. I think he told me once, but I can't recall at the moment because my memory fucking sucks. Sorry for the harsh language, but yeah, love Ron Kelly. And I have some more of them for you. So I don't know which one comes first. This is the second or the third in the collection. I want to do them in order. It does 2023. This one came out in... They're a series, by the way. Okay, I had it right. Shouldn't have even said anything. Tales from the Southern Fried Crypt. Horror in the Swamp. While creatures dwell beneath the Black Bayou. Ronald Kelly. And let me show the... it has illustrations. I knew the signature sheet would have illustrations, but the actual book has illustrations, so that's cool. To Nick, beware the horrors of Black Bayou. And just to show you some of the images. Oh! And of course, you know, Ronald Kelly is a very talented writer and illustrator, and he's the one that drew this. You can't see it, but he drew this tattoo up for me. Well, he didn't draw it up for me. I actually got a gift from somebody. Someone, I think it was Deb. Can't remember her last. I think I know her last name, but I don't want to jinx it or say it wrong or like out her. Don't want y'all looking her up and stuff. And not like you would, but Deb, I believe she realized it was my first convention I ever been to, and Deb went up to Ronald Kelly and purchased a portrait for me, like an illustration. He illustrated something from scratch, and he sells them now. I don't know if he always sold them by bulk or not, like prints, but it was an original drawing he made for me, and I ended up getting it tattooed on my skin. So it really cool stuff. Ronald Kelly is my favorite author. He's kind of like my not guilty pleasure read, because I don't really feel guilty reading his work, but he's definitely one of those authors where if I'm stuck reading something and I really need to get out of a reading slump, which I'm actually currently in right now. I am in a huge reading slump. I haven't even been able to sit down and actually read a physical book. Doesn't that suck? Booktube channel here, author here, and I still can't read a damn book this year. I think I've read maybe 8 books this year. I can't really recall how many books I've read this year. Long way to go for my goal I set myself. I think I set myself a goal for 20 books to read this year, and that was under what I really wanted to do, but I'm already proven that maybe I wasn't wrong in my thought process and lowering the goalposts, or moving the goalposts, if you will. But anyways, this is a book that I will read one day. It's signed by Ronald Kelly, and I'll read the back for you guys. Below the pale orb of the full moon, a lone boat navigates the dark channels of the Louisiana Bayou, moving between ancient cypress and the heavy mats of Spanish moss that dangle from the gnarled limbs. Who are the two who brave the swamp at night? One is a lanky Cajun man by the name of Pierre, while the other is the visiting cousin from Tennessee, A man folks called the old storyteller. It's in all caps, so I didn't know how to say that. I didn't know how I wanted to portray that. But anyway, take a seat and join him as he shares 10 terrifying tales on a midnight boat ride across the black waters where no man should dare to go. It is dark and dangerous, down in the bayou. A place full of horrifying critters and plenty of haints and spirits, too. See those mausoleums on the bank yonder? Listen closely, for that is where the dead tell their frightening stories. Sorry, a little congested. Be deathly silent and listen. Listen to their bone-chilling tales from the southern fried crypt. Sorry. And then the next one is the same, part of the same thing. Vault of the Southern Fried Horror. So it's a little different. Maniacs, murderers, cold-blooded killers, human monsters walking among us. Ron Kelly. I love the way these books look. And this has got another long synopsis. This is kind of a thing for Ron Kelly. He describes his stuff very well. I always love his synopses, whatever. Old storyteller knows the darkness that dwells in folks' hearts. He's aware of the evil and depravity comes in all shapes and sizes. Men, women, even youngins. Some lurk in the dead of night or walk undetected in broad daylight. They could be watching you from the shadows of an alleyway or a dense growth of forest. Or they could be standing right behind you in line at the hamburger joint or grocery store, trading small talk, sizing you up, spinning their web. They could even be hiding in the back seat of your car in the dark parking lot, or sitting in the pew right next to you at church. Murderers and maniacs, serial killers, human monsters who walk the streets among us. Some have a motive for what they do, some don't. Most do it for the sheer thrill of the kill. And more than likely, their victims never know it's coming. They soon find themselves at the mercy of brutal hands and sharply honed steel. And when the dastardly deed is over and done, the unfortunate prey ends up in a drainage ditch or trash dumpster. Or part of them go home with their killer as grisly souvenirs and mementos. There's no time to waste. The storyteller can hear them now, skulking through the woods, growing nearer and nearer, with malice and ill intentions on their twisted minds. Join him in the sanctuary of his backwoods hideaway, locked away from those who would do him and you harm. While he sharpens an axe on the old grinding wheel, along with a handy knife or two, he'll spin some disturbing yarns to pass the time. So sit back and listen to some spine-tingling tales of corruption and chaos deep in the vault of Southern Fried Horror. Now let's see what this one says. By the way, this is the last one. Is it not signed? Where would it be signed? Oh, there we go. Boom. To Nick, many happy maniacal nightmares. Boom. And with that, it's all the book mail I'm going to do for now, because it's already 23 minutes. I got another book pile over there of non-signed books that I just bought off Amazon or whatever. And, yeah. I will get to it eventually. This has been a Nicholas Gray book mail. I'm done with doing the Spooky Noodles book mail things. I'm not going to have this as a, I'm going to have a different cover or a thumbnail for this. Because I'm trying to branch off of the Spooky Noodles name. Try to make this more oriented towards my work. But I will still talk about books, obviously, and do reviews and such. But I've kind of changed the way I do reviews. I'm not as harsh as I used to be. So if you come here for harsh content about books you don't like, I'm the wrong person to come to. I probably will only do books that I do like for reviews. I don't feel the need to bash people anymore. I know everyone respects people who dog on books, but I just don't feel like doing that anymore. I know it's not dogging on book if you're reviewing. If you paid for the book, review it as you want. I'm not dogging on people who dog on books. I'm just saying, me personally, I feel like at some point it was just me hate reading, and I don't like hate reading, so I don't hate read anymore. I just stop reading the book if I hate it, and no point of rating a book or reviewing a book that you either didn't finish, or if you finished it, you didn't really like it. I'll rate a book if I don't like it, but like I'm not gonna go blast it on the internet, you know. So I'm kind of done doing that. So you won't see it less than 3 stars on this channel anymore. I don't know if I've ever rated a book like 2 stars before. I've given low ratings to books that probably didn't deserve as harsh of criticism as they've gotten, but I digress. I wish I did things a little differently back in the day, because, you know, getting a negative review kind of sucks. Not saying it's not necessarily needed or anything like that. Like, well, you review a book and it can help an author regardless of how the review is. Just do it in a, like, mature way. And I feel like I personally just don't want to hash out things I don't like about a book. You know, I'll tell you what a book did well, but I'm not going to really go into what it did wrong. So anyways, that's all I have for you today. I have to go do things now. I just wanted to get the signed book mail out of the way before I have to eventually do the big stack of books that is over there. And those big stack of books over there range from my days of werewolf reading, so, and then my little stint into like crime stuff. I actually don't know how many books are over there and what they consist of. I haven't looked at the pile for so long. I haven't really I haven't purchased books very often in the past, well, this whole year really. I've come like every once. These are the books I've basically collected over this year and halfway through last year. Like I said, I'm not really buying books anymore at the rate that I was, so you're not going to get a lot of book mail videos anymore. So that's definitely going to slow down. If I ever do book mail again after this pile, it's probably going to be just signed book mail, because that's probably all I'm going to buy, unless like it's like a must-read type thing, maybe. I don't know. But anyways, sorry, I don't mean to get so down and negative, but it's just like I have not a lot of time to do this. Well, I do have a lot of time on my hands. I just don't have the energy to do this all the time. And there's so many things I could be doing with my time, and it overwhelms me. And then I end up not doing anything. So I'm just doing this so I at least get one check mark off the list of things I need to do. Yeah. I hope you guys are having a great day. Hope you have a spooky night. I'll catch you in the next video. And, deuces.